Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing this evening? I'm back in the car, back in Indianapolis. Got in about 10 o'clock tonight and went home, unloaded my backpack and stuff, and hung out with Alex and the dogs. He's still not feeling very great, but I guess he's feeling good enough to get going tomorrow. He has his like chiropractor appointment early tomorrow morning, so I hung out for a little bit with him, and then he was like, I'm going to bed. I was like, okay, babe. And so anyway, he was just like asking me how stuff had gone. I was telling him about the weekend and whatever, but so yeah, and then I went and got a fountain pop with Tanya. I'm like awake. I'm like really awake. But I think I'm going to listen to a little bit of my audiobook since I have 18 hours of it to listen to before Sunday. But I've like been going all day today, and I just kind of like want to relax a little bit. Had to get up this morning super early for the stuff with my friend, and it went fine. It went well, and we were done really early, so I came back and I got like a late checkout at 12:30, so I went back to bed for a little bit, and then I got up and got ready, took a shower and all that kind of stuff, and checked out. And then I like checked my bag so that they could like watch my bags. I like went around and did stuff because I didn't want to like lug my bags around with me. And had to get the fan back to my friend's building, my fan that she let me borrow. And then I sat outside on, like they had this patio, like they had this like really nice like entryway in the hotel, and then they had this like really nice like bar, and then they had this like wrap around like area, and I sat out there and had a cup of coffee, and that was just about it. And just kind of sat there and just enjoyed myself for like a half an hour, 45 minutes, and just watched people walking by and all this kind of stuff. And there was actually this like couple that was sitting out there that I could tell that they own like some kind of business or something together, and they were like leaving too, and because I could like hear them saying something about when they had to leave or whatever, but they were like splitting a bottle of champagne while they were both working on their computers and stuff at this like table out back. I was like, that must be a fun way to work every day, you know? So anyway, and then I went and I got lunch, and then came back, and it was still like early. My flight left at like 7:30, 7:40, something like that. And so I had said in my head that like I needed to leave to go to the airport at like 5:30, but I thought, for some reason, I thought my flight left at 5:30 because I had like programmed in my head when I had to like leave. And so for some reason today, like when I got up and stuff, I was like, oh, well, like I need to go to the airport at like 3 or 3:30. And then I was like looking at my stuff, and I was like, oh my God, like I have like the entire day just to sit here, but I didn't want to really do anything. And it was hot in Miami, and I didn't want to get like super sweaty and stuff. So I sat in the lobby of the hotel for literally like 2.5 hours. And after I ate lunch, I came back from lunch, and I was like, oh, I know what I did. I was like, so I walked back, and I was like hot and sweaty when I got back. And so that area is like really where Alex wants to live. It's called Brickell, and it's really a cute area, but I kind of knew it was probably pricey. So I was walking around there, and I was like, because there was like this one building that I kept on seeing, And every time I would see it, I would be like, oh, I really like that building. But it was like a block and a half away. But it was in that same area. And I was like, I think, like, I could live in that building. Like, I just had this weird feeling, like, I could live in that building, you know? And we've looked at some places down there, but not, like, real seriously. So when I was walking back, I kind of like walked through the different neighborhoods. It's very quiet through there. It's very, like, if Peter was going to live in a building, it's where Peter should live. It's like very quiet through there. Not to talk about myself in third person, weirdly. So I walked over to this building, and there was like a guy sitting inside, like at this like table, and I was going to go in, like a desk, and I was going to ask him, like I was going to go inside and ask him the name of the building because it just had the address on it. But this woman was coming out with her dog, and so I like stopped her, and I was like, do you live here? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, what's the name of this building? And she was really sweet. And then so I took a picture of the building and the address, and then I like walked around. I took a picture of another building that I liked. And I was kind of just like walking through the neighborhood. I was like, do you think that you could live here? And I was like, I could live here, you know? Like, I could totally live here. And so I got back, and I sat forever in the lobby, and I was kind of just like scrolling through while I was charging my phone, because my phone was about dead at that point. And so I was like looking up these apartments or condos online, and seeing like the prices of them and stuff. And some of them really aren't that bad. Like in this building, I was kind of surprised. I actually picked one of the cheaper buildings in Brickell. And so I just kind of screenshot some of them that I, was like, okay, these could kind of be realistic price range wise and stuff like that. And then at the bar, they were doing like a training of, like they were training the bartenders. This woman was training like all of the bartenders in there. I couldn't figure out what they were doing at first. I thought it was like a class for like people that were staying at the hotel or something. But two of the people that were there were from like the bar last night. Like when I like was like walking around, I noticed them from last night. And then the other two were from when I was like at the pool. Like, this girl was from the pool, and this guy next to her, I think, was the other guy that was like working up there with her when I got the Diet Coke, or when I got the Coke or whatever. And so I was like, oh, I think this, like they're doing a training. And so I just like literally sat there for like an hour and a half, and I like listened to this. I was kind of like tired and hot, and I was like listening to what this woman was saying and stuff. She was saying some really interesting things. I thought it was kind of funny. Like, she was telling them like really good kind of like PR stories about being bartenders. And like one of the things that she said was, I was like, she's really good at what she's doing. I'm always kind of like evaluating. And so she was telling them, like when you're like making a drink for somebody, it's interesting because I don't drink, right? So like for me, my observations or my perspective of alcohol is different than I think somebody else. But she was like, when you ask somebody like what they're wanting, like a lot of people, like their drink, they have like a personal story attached to why that is their drink. And she was like, and the other thing is when they pick a certain kind of alcohol, and she was like talking about their different kinds of alcohol, their well drinks, she was talking about their well drinks earlier, like their well, I couldn't hear what their gin and tequila was. Like there was music playing over, so I was like trying to hear what she was saying, but like their well vodka was Finlandia, their well rum was Bacardi, and their well whiskey was like Jack Daniels, which I thought that those were kind of like high-end well alcohols. But anyway, I drank Jack Daniels back in the day, and I never thought it was cheap. So anyway, but she was saying that like these different liquors for people, like whatever brand they are like, that's somebody's life's work. That they like designed this liquor, and they like, it's like their life work. It's not just a liquor brand, it's somebody's life work, She was going into like kind of the history of some of these liquors, which I thought was really interesting, that she saw it that way as a bartender. And then she was talking about, she told a story about, one story was like, why you always, like, so much of what you do is about personality and like building a relationship with the person that's sitting across from you. because you never know who they are. And she was like, it's not just, you know, like, which was funny because the person that gave me my Coke at the pool, there was no the personal interaction. She was just like, Coke. And I was like, yeah, is it going out of focus? Come on now. Oh, don't do this tonight. Come on. We'll let it go out for a second and see if it goes back in. There, it goes back in. So anyway, but obviously a Coke is different than a drink, right? But maybe not this story. So she was telling about how, like, she worked in some bar and, like, this guy came in and he ordered, like, 2, like, really cheap beers or something like that, and she didn't think much about it or whatever. And then, like, she ended up, like, talking to him and, like, asking him about his life and whatever, and he ended up, it reminded me of this country music song. I can't remember what the song is called, but it's about these 2 guys sitting in a bar. I love this song. Well, I can't think of what it's called. And at the end of it, he says, so he meets this guy in a bar. Well, anyway, basically what she said was that this guy left her, like, a couple $100 as a tip, and he ordered 2 beers, right? And it was just because, like, he was, like, lonely and talked to her. Do you guys know that country music song? It's one of my favorite songs. Damn it, why can't I think of what it's called? And he's sitting there, and he's talking to him, and at the end of it, he's like, I opened up the paper, and, I saw this picture, on the front page was this picture of a millionaire, and he said something about his kids were mad as hell. And me, I'm doing well. And then he's like, he goes out to the gravesite and he leaves him a 6-pack on his grave. Do you know what song I'm talking about? I love that song so much. But anyway, I've become my father with country music. My dad always loves country music. I was raised on country music, and now I'm like, love all the little stories of country music. But anyway, she was telling that story. And then another story she told I thought was really interesting, because I thought this was kind of like a person that doesn't drink anymore, but maybe, like, doesn't, like, work a recovery program. And I know, we call that dry, but I know a lot of people that are dry, you know? Or they went to meetings for a while and they don't anymore, or whatever. Hey, whatever works for you, you know? Like, I don't judge people about that. But anyway, she was telling this story about this guy, and, like, when she was going to, like, when she had been trained, she was taught, I can't remember how she said it, that she was, like, trained, like, if somebody doesn't touch their drink or doesn't drink their drink, to ask them, like, do you want me to make it over? And she was like, this guy, like, ordered a drink, and it was, like, some $50 drink, some liqueur. And so, or special whiskey or something, I don't know what it was, but it was like $50 for this drink. And so he was, like, she was sitting there talking to him, and he, like, got the drink and, like, ordered it, put it in his hand, like, rolled it around and, like, put it down and, like, never touched the drink, right? And she just had some weird feeling, and he didn't say anything about why he wasn't drinking the drink. But she's like, you know, typically in that situation, you know, I was taught that you should, you know, ask, like, is there something wrong with your drink? Do you want another drink or whatever? And she didn't do that. She said he, like, sat there for, like, 20 minutes and didn't touch his drink, or half an hour, I don't know. And she said, do you want can I get you another one? And he said, yeah, I think I would like another one. And so, like, over the course of, like, 2 hours, he sat there, and she, like, so, like, another half an hour, 20 minutes goes by, and he doesn't drink that drink. And so she came back up to him, and she's, like, talking to him and stuff, and she's like, can I get you another one? He goes, I think I'll have just one more drink. And so she ended up giving him, like, 3 drinks, and my music is playing with no sound on. I don't know why. But anyway, it's playing The Moon is a Harsh Mistress by Judy Collins right now, which is one of my all-time favorite songs. But anyway, so she was like, so he ended up ordering 3 drinks. They were like $50 each, so it's like $150. And he ended up leaving her some, like, large tip, and she, like, found out that, like, he said something to her at the end, like, I don't drink anymore, but I used to, but sometimes I still like to just come into the bar and order a drink and like, remember what it was like to be able to sit at a bar and, like, have a drink, which I thought was interesting. And they were all, like, all the bartenders were like, oh yeah. But she went through this whole thing and about, like, respect for the story of the alcohol or the person's personal drink and whatever. And she was like, that's why when people, like, a lot of people will come up and say, like, I don't know what I want. And she's like, these are why you suggest certain drinks, but you should always use the drinks that have the alcohol. There's certain alcohol that we push because it's, like, the brands that we use for the hotel. But she was like, But at the same time, she was like, you want them to have like their own like personal drink that they get excited about, so you can ask them some questions that really don't have to do with alcohol, like what do you like what taste do you like, but you can ask them like, you know, like what are you in the mood for, and like, you know, you ask them things like, you know, are you in like, I'm just making this up, but like, you know, like, are you in Miami on like vacation or work? Because it's, you know, like you can kind of get like an idea of what they might like be a special drink for them if they don't really know what they like, you know? I don't know, I just thought that her whole way of going about it was interesting. I think like sometimes when we talk about like, I mean, that's, oh, I just bit the side of my mouth. Damnation. That is, when you talk about, you know, customer service or marketing or anything like that, you know, PR even, I think it's all, a lot of it is in, you know, like how you make people feel. And doesn't that go back to like when we were, you know, growing up, like, you know, the golden rule, or, you know, like treating people the way that we would want to be treated and things like that. I am so tired of the construction in Indiana. It is literally constant everywhere. Side streets, interstate, everywhere. So anyway, I sat there, and then I went and I went in the bathroom and like brushed my teeth, put deodorant on again, and because I had taken a shower and everything that morning, and sprayed on cologne. I used my scent bird that I took with me, and Burberry, and I will say that scent bird thing is like, I love it for traveling. And then got the Uber to the airport. That lip gloss kind of, those birds flying up there. That lip gloss kind of came off pretty quick. I took my Tatcha lip balm with me and didn't open it once, but I did use my lip gloss quite a bit. My Manny lip gloss. And then, oh my God, and then at the airport, I had to walk forever and ever and take one train and one tram and all this kind of stuff to get to my gate. And then I was hungry, so I got snacks for the plane. But then they had like this little Pizza Hut place there, so I got a cheese pizza and breadsticks, but I didn't eat all of it. I ate all the breadsticks, but I had like one piece of the pizza and a few, maybe 2 or 3 bites of another piece, and that was it. It wasn't very good. It wasn't very good at all. But it did remind me of back in the day, we had a Taco Bell. What do they call it? Taco Hut or whatever they would call them back in the day, or a Pizza Bell. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? When like Taco Bell and Pizza Hut were combined, and they would call it like a Taco Hut or a Pizza Bell. What did we call it back in the day? Y'all know what I'm talking about. But I would go through there and I would get a Nachos Bel Grande and then like a mini Supreme Pizza all for myself and breadsticks, and that would be my dinner. Oh my God. So then I had started already. Oh, I downloaded, I bought it on iTunes and downloaded, well, both of them, the Rob Zombie movies, 3 from Hell. So it goes House of a Thousand Corpses, which in this movie they reference, and they called it, I've always called that movie House of a Thousand Corpses. They called them, because they were referencing the murders that occurred, like it was like a real thing, and they said the House of 1,000 Corpses Murders. Like that's what they called it in the movie. So I was like, oh, I guess the movie's called House of 1,000 Corpses. But anyway, so it goes House of 1,000 Corpses, House of 1,000 Corpses, and then the sequel is called The Devil's Rejects, and then the third one is called 3 from Hell, and it was really, really good. Like, okay, House of 1,000, it's a House of 1,000 Corpses to me. House of 1,000 Corpses is like super, super, super scary and gory. Devil's Rejects is really gory, but I don't remember it being as scary. This one, I thought it was going to be really scary. It wasn't super scary. But it was super gory. But the story was really interesting. So it was the three of them. If you haven't seen The Devil's Rejects, this won't ruin it for you, but they like basically get shot up at the end. Like the three killers, they're like, it's like this Captain Spaulding guy that plays a clown. That's what his name goes. He goes by Captain Spaulding, and he's like a clown. And then this Otis guy and his sister, I can't remember her real name is, but she goes by Baby. And that's actually Rob Zombie's wife, Sherry Moon Zombie. She is fantastic. She's so good in this movie. I mean, she was good in the other two, but I think she's in Halloween too, that Rob Zombie redid, but she's really, really good in this. And there's this one guard in the prison that plays this guard, and I think her name is like Greta or something. She's really good too. But anyway, she calls her, you just have to see the movie. If you like horror movies, I'm telling you, you have to watch these. It's fantastic. It's so well done. And so, it's just basically about the three of them and what happened after The Devil's Rejects, and I don't want to ruin it for you. Well, and there's another, so then their half-brother, who I don't remember if he's in one of the other two movies or not. I think he may have, I don't remember The Devil's Rejects very well. But he, like, the half-brother's in it, too. But it kind of went in a direction that I didn't think it would be. And then something was going on with my, like, Amazon Prime. I had, like, downloaded some movies, but it was trying to, like, play them on some other, like, my TV app or something on my phone. It kept on like shutting out of the app. I don't know what. I was trying to watch Medea's Halloween Boo 2 or something. But I had started and I hadn't finished. And I kept on getting to the same part and like rewinding it because I couldn't understand what they were saying. But anyway, so I didn't get very far in that. The flight was super short. It was supposed to be like 3 hours. And I ended up getting in like 45 minutes early or something, 45 minutes early. I mean, I feel like by the time I finished that movie, we were like landing. There was a friend of mine on the flight that I didn't even know was like a pretty good friend of ours too, that I didn't even know was in Miami this weekend. He was like, I wish I had known that you were in Miami. I was like, I wish I had known that you were in Miami too, because I didn't have shit to do. But anyway, so yeah, that movie was really good though. It was like a good movie, like not just like a scary movie or like a horror. I don't know why I can't say horror, but like horror movie. It was just like a scary movie. It was good. And now it's Halloween. I like walked to my car and I thought it is going to be so freezing outside, like when I went outside, and it really wasn't. It's 52 degrees right now. It's cool, but it's not like as cold as I thought it would be, you know? I thought it would be like freezing outside, and it's not. So anyway, but it definitely does look like Halloween. I was like, when I was going to lunch today, there was like some of these houses like had Halloween decorations like outside, and I was like, this is so weird seeing these houses in Florida like next to a palm tree, and there's like a skeleton hanging from a palm tree. It just felt weird. It was at the end and I didn't even know it. It beeped. Sometimes it beeps and I hear it, and sometimes like if I'm talking I don't hear it. So yeah, I think we're gonna go back down in a couple weeks. I'm not positive, which definitely means we can't go to Colorado to see Susie now in November, but that's okay. We'll go in like January, February, just for like a long weekend. I was actually looking at like, when we have to go back down there, and it's like, hotels are so expensive and stuff, and I don't know if it's because we're booking it so close, but I was like, and I want to be like I mean, this was fine. I like this area, but there's just like I want to be able to be like by the beach and go to the beach and stuff, you know. So I was like looking at Airbnbs and stuff because a lot of hotels, and I don't know if this is just normal around the world, because have I ever stayed in an Airbnb? I don't know if I ever have. But a lot of them are like apartments that people own in hotels. Is that like a normal thing and I'm just stupid? And I mean, I've seen that before, but that maybe like so many of the units in like a hotel are like residences and so many are like actual hotel rooms. I don't know. And then Melissa was asking if we wanted to go to this Hannah's Haunted Acres on like Wednesday or Thursday this week. So I mentioned it to Alex, and he's kind of looked at me like, babe, I do not feel well. So I'll just wait and see when they decide to go, and if we decide to go, we'll go, but I don't know. Tanya went, and she took the girls to go see it, and they loved it, and she said she was literally like in the middle of the hayride the whole time because she was so scared, and people were like jumping out and grabbing at you and stuff. I don't love that kind of stuff. That makes me nervous. We have this friend of ours, and I saw her at Aaron's party, and she's so funny, but like she is somebody that you would think would get absolutely terrified, but she loves haunted houses. And I was like, girl, don't you get scared? Because she like hates like horror movies and like true crime she doesn't want to hear about. She's like, don't tell me about true crime, I don't want to know anything about it. She like hates that kind of stuff. And so we were standing there, and I'm like, don't you get scared? And she's so funny, and I'm like, don't you get scared in like, you know, haunted house? And she's like, no. And I was like, why not? She's like, it's all fake. She's like, don't you know it's all fake? And I go, yeah. And she's like, I mean, they're just people jumping out at you. I'm like, well, what do you do? And she's like, I literally just walk through and they jump out at me and I laugh and stuff. And I'm like, I don't know, like I don't think of it that way. Maybe it's because I've seen too many scary movies that take place in haunted houses and things like that where an actual killer is like in there. But I'm like, I think, I don't know. The corn is really high out here. Tell you guys a little something in a second. But anyway, so yep, it's Halloween week now and I'm excited. And I didn't make videos for 2 days. I kind of missed making videos. And I was like, oh, I'll just make them when I get back. What movie was I watching? I was watching some movie with Eddie Murphy on that Freeform. It was actually really good. Something Haunted Mansion. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? I don't know how there's so many of these movies that I haven't seen. I'm going to turn around up here. I'm probably not going to vlog for a whole lot longer because I just don't have a whole lot to say tonight. And on my way home, I want to listen to my audiobook, and I'm need to focus on that. And oh my god, I'm gonna kill Mel for making picking a 18, almost 19 hours, 18 hours and 40-minute book. At least it's like, okay, some of the books, like, okay, for Harry Potter, I have such a hard time listening to it faster than like 1.25 speed. I try to, but it's hard because the accents, first of all, and then of the Jim Dale who reads, his narration is fantastic. That's the other part, is I really want to enjoy. It's like sometimes when the narrator is really, really good, I like to enjoy the like their narration, so I don't listen to it as fast. Who's the one that does like The Hate You Give, and she did the Underground Railroad? Bonnie Turpin. Oh my God, she's so fantastic. She's like one of the best narrators ever on Audible. There's like some narrators on Audible that are like really, really well known. So anyway, I think that's her name, Bonnie Turpin. She's a fantastic narrator. So I'll slow it down and like listen to that a little bit. But with like the Harry Potter ones, first of all, they're so daunting because they're like 18 to 20 hours long. Some of them are longer than that. And then I can't listen to it at 2 times speed, so it's not like a 9-hour book, which a 9-hour book is a long book because like for me, an average book is between 8 and 10 hours, right? So if I listen to it at 2 times speed, that's 4 to 5. And people are like, how do you listen to a book that fast? I'm like, do you realize how fast I talk? Like I talk so fast, right? So I hear fast. So it's like, come on, when people are talking, I'm like, so anyway, I mean, Tanya and I in the car were like, oh, la, 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 la. That's why like Melissa and I are so perfect when we're talking, because we just like talk over each other, and it's like we totally understand what the next person is going to say. So anyway, but like an 8 or 9 hour, 8 to 10 hour book is like 4 or 5 hours for me to listen to, because I can listen to it on 2 times speed. Well, when it's like a book that like you really like have to listen to everything that they're saying, I like am constantly rewinding it because I just, I don't like, so I'm constantly like dun, 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 on my screen or whatever, because I, I'm not catching what they're saying, and so then I end up slowing it down, and then it takes forever. But this one, the Iceman Confessions, is not that bad. Like, the narrator reads it pretty slow anyway, and then what happens, oh my God, so then this is funny. So then, like, I'll listen to it at 2 times speed, but then sometimes I'll slow it down to, like, 1 point speed, or just regular. I do not know, like, I was talking to Mel one day, and Mel was telling me that she listens to it at normal speed. Normal speed is like, I was driving down the street to go to the store. When I got to, I'm like, how do you listen to an audiobook this slow? I do not understand it. But then if you listen to it like 2 times speed, it's like, I was driving down the street to go to the store. Tanya's like, whenever she like, I have the window down when I like driving up to her house, and she can hear it. She'll be like, oh, la, la, la. She'll be like standing outside the car, and she'll be like, oh, la, 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 la. Alex just like, when he gets in the car, he's like, how do you listen to it that fast? I'm like, I don't know, because like whenever we get a brunch, I'm always like, okay, I was finishing this chapter last night, let me finish just like, he's like, you're so funny. These semis go down these roads like 90 miles an hour. So yeah, but this one's not bad. I can listen to this one at 2 times speed and not get like super like behind or distracted, as long as I kind of like pay attention and listen to it, But if I start thinking about something other than the book, like I have learned just to stop the book and listen to music, or like just, I like to actually drive in silence a lot and just think to myself. Especially when I'm like working on like a book, and right now I am working on character development for a book, and so it's really good for me to like just drive, and I think a lot to myself like, well, what would she do, or what would he do in this situation, or like what's something like obscure that she would think about, so I can really see the person like as a person, like the character as a person. And oh, they have some really cute Halloween decorations out there. So yeah. weird having been in Miami just like earlier, you know. I mean, not even that long ago. And now like I'm driving, it's like, it literally looks like Halloween out in the country, you know. I gotta watch all of my Halloween movies. I was thinking about this the other day. One of the movies that I loved when I was growing up was, I think it's a Disney movie actually, Something Wicked This Way Comes. It was a Ray Bradbury book, but if you've never seen it, you should see. I think you can, the whole movie is actually on YouTube. I think I looked it up. And it is such a fantastic movie. And it's about the October, he wrote another one called October Country. I'm not a big Ray Bradbury fan, but I can see this book, because I ended up buying this book when I was like, you know, in junior high or something, because I became obsessed with this. This movie. It's about these two kids, these two guys that are friends, and they're probably like 6th grade or something like that, and it's like takes place in Illinois, I think. It's just beautiful, the scenery, and I think it was filmed in Vermont. I think I even looked it up, but a Halloween carnival, or like I think it's October Carnival, comes to town. I don't think it has anything to do with Halloween, I don't remember. This October Carnival comes to town, and basically it's a lot about temptation and things like that, and fulfilling your, like, this carnival will fulfill your every desire or dream or whatever, and it's like this, you know, evil carnival, and these kids want to go like bad, and then, but anyway, Jason Robards, I wonder what happened to him. Did he pass away? I bet he did, because he was old in that movie. But anyway, he plays the dad. He plays the librarian of one of the boys, which is so funny, because I think, like, as I'm sitting here talking, I wanted to be a librarian for a really long time. Can you imagine? I think I would have been a good librarian. I did, though. I wanted to work in, like, some small town library, and that's probably something I've never talked about on here. Like, I mean, I really looked into, like, going into library science. I thought it would be really fun. You know, when I drive, like, through Zionsville and stuff, like that, like, where it's, like, brick streets, like, that would be a town that I would, like, love to be, like, a librarian at, like, a little town, like, library there. Also, Help I'm a Prisoner in the Library. That book had a lot to do with that, too. But when I read this book, Jason Robards plays this one kid's dad, and he is, I think that kid was, like, ended up being famous in something too. But anyway, he ends up, the dad is a librarian at the town library, and because of that, I think I wanted to be a librarian for a while, because it's like this old, very cool library. I keep on saying library, so weird. It's like this very cool old library, and I remember wishing that I had a library like that. And they're like running around in the stacks and stuff. It's cool. We don't really have libraries like that much anymore, you know. But anyway, I want to watch that. I want to watch It's a Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. What else do I want to watch? Oh my God, Fat Albert's Halloween is the best. I have that on DVD. I used to watch all the Roseanne Halloweens, but we'll probably do that at Melissa's. I've watched every Halloween movie almost. Like Halloween, the franchise. Oh my God, Children of the Corn was on Amazon Prime. I almost downloaded that the other day, but that movie seriously scares me. Well, until it gets real weird at the end, but like the first like half of that movie, like Children of the Corn, I cannot have that movie on during the day when I'm at home by myself. I can't, it scares me. I think because it takes place in like broad daylight, and it's like so scary, you know? Have you guys never seen it? Oh God, that is a spooky movie. So what I was gonna say to you guys earlier when I said I have something to tell you guys was that so many people were like, oh my God, Peter, on these country roads, what if something, I was like, do not say that. Like, oh my God, everything's fine, everything's good, positive thoughts in the universe, put positive thoughts out there. So I was driving out there and I was thinking of reading those comments, and I was like, oh my God. Because I'm almost back into like the city part where I get back on the interstate, so. Take me home, country roads, to a place I belong. Virginia. I downloaded a bunch of John Denver a while ago. I love John Denver. I don't know why. But when I was growing up, my mom listened to a lot of John Denver. On Grandma's featherbed, it was 6 feet high, 9 feet wide, soft as a downy chick. I cannot remember the words to that song to save my life, but I used to love that song. My favorite album, though, is John Denver and the Muppets Christmas. Oh my God, I love that album so much. It's almost Christmas. Get ready for the Christmas stories. Get ready for the Christmas stories. All right, you guys, I'm going to get off here now. I know this is shorter, but I want to listen to my audiobook because I head back home, so I'm going to get off here. I hope you guys, what is tomorrow? Tuesday? Oh, Tuesday's my meeting night. Tanya's like, can you come earlier so that you are not, so that we're not running late? I'm like, we're always on time. She's like, yeah, but we always have like just 2 minutes when we're walking in the door. I'm like, fine. So I have to get there earlier tomorrow night. Anyway. I'm happy to be back in Indianapolis for Halloween week. Anyway, I missed my little car drives late at night, so. But anyway, I hope you guys are having an amazing Tuesday. Unless you have other plans, but like I always say, do not have other plans. Make the most of your day. Really hear that, okay? Like today, somebody said that my outro gets longer and longer and longer. I'm gonna make it short. So that, you know, you think to yourself, life is not a dress rehearsal. What do I wanna do today that I'm gonna look back on, like seriously, and be like, okay, you know what? I did this. This was fun. Or I'm proud that I did this. Or this was a good thing today, you know? Something that you'll look back on in your life and think, that was a cool moment. And, yeah, if no one else has told you this today, I love you. Make sure that you look at yourself in the mirror every single day so we work on feeling good about ourselves and self-validation and say every day to yourself in the mirror, I love you. You are valuable and you are worth all of the good that comes to you in the world. And believe it in your heart of hearts. And do your positive affirmations and do your gratitude lists every day. They help me. And when I do mine, they really, really help. And most importantly, make sure that you pass it on to somebody else and let them know how much they mean to you, how much you care about them, and how much they affect your life positively. Just pick just one random person today. All right? And next time I will try to shorten my outro. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. But I will never stop saying this. Love ya. Love ya.